his testimony that was given earlier. So I give you an opportunity, because it's unsolicited, to place objections onto the record.
Well, Chairperson Ayala, as a matter of record, I would like a copy for myself.
Come on.
And to the extent that it's a summary of Mr. Flores' oral argument, I would not object to it actually coming in. However, I would actually ask the board to disregard anything on this document which was not included in his oral argument. I believe that we are entitled, or the parties are entitled, to submit summaries. In fact, I think the court reporters actually asked for any copies of any written summaries, so I think it's proper. But again, I would agree to having it submitted with the understanding that none of the argument is evidence itself. And if there's anything on this document that's not reflected in his oral argument as reviewed in the transcripts you'll get, that we ask that it not be included.
Okay. And then the second set of documents was handed to us unsolicited, described basically as Hawaiian Kingdom documents to the jurisdiction of international court. So you've had an opportunity.
I have seen that. Thank you. I would object to the introduction of any documents or presentations or any material submitted by anyone that's not a party to this. This is not a public hearing. It's not a public meeting. It's oral argument on a contested case, and it would be inappropriate to include that on the record or as even part of the oral argument.
Okay.
It's not that I'm objecting to the substance. I have no judgment on the substance itself. It is actually what I believe is not an appropriate inclusion on this contested case.
Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to submit a rebuttal to that objection.
Actually, it's not necessary. Well, you're a party, so do you have an... Go ahead. Do you have...
So it's not relative to that one. It's relative
This one.
to the initial one. So what was initially sent and submitted was a summary of our presentation and testimony. It was dated February 12, 2013. And I don't believe that in the case of this oral arguments that the applicant can object to what we present to the board at this time.
He's only objecting if there is anything that wasn't in your presentation.
But why can't I present something at this point in time as part of this 30 minutes or this 30 minutes of those given
because
to petitioners? Why is he allowed, the applicants, legal counsel allowed to object to anything that is submitted at this point?
Because he hadn't had time to review the documents like all the other evidence that was put into the record.
Yeah, but neither does he have time to review the evidence or documents when people are presenting in the time they're given.
Well, so, procedurally, he has the opportunity to object, and then at some point we will, in our deliberations, rule on his objection in terms of what gets put in.
Okay. I just want to make that clarification. Okay. I'll put that clarification at that point. Thank you.
And again, Mr. Flores has made the representation that this actually reflects his oral argument itself. So
okay.
I understand his concern.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So you now have your rebuttal time.
And you have 14 minutes on the clock. You want a time check?
No, I don't know. Thank you. I would have to agree with Ms. Pishota's statement that there's nothing new that's been presented by the petitioners today. As she noted, that they have actually repeatedly been before the board and the department on many of these claims. In fact, all of these claims, you will actually see that all of the issues that they've raised has actually been addressed. All of these things were actually reviewed, considered, and considered by the hearing officer in his proposed findings of fact, conclusions of law. that you have. And again, there's we believe that we have actually responded to them, and we will rest on our opening statements that we made earlier, as well as the documents which we have submitted in response to those same claims, including our exceptions to our suggested exceptions to supplement the proposed findings of fact and conclusions of law, as well as our response to the petitioner's objections. So thank you. If there's any questions that the board has, we're available for answering.
Any questions, board members? The university?
Thanks.
No?
I would add one thing also, Chairperson Isla. I would note that the board does have the discretion to deliberate now and vote now, and I understand that you've already made a statement that the board will deliberate subsequently on this. But I'll also join with Ms. Townsend's request that the board deliberate expediently and come quickly back to the parties for a determination on this. Thank you.
Okay, we will take both of those requests under consideration. And with that, the hearing is now closed. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Mauna Kea.